This is from other financial institutions, or if you go 60 to 84 months, the rate would be 3.99%. But we call them high-speed chases because they're only around for a very short time, so you got to take advantage of it. As long as you apply between the 17th and 20th, you don't have to have your loan dispersed because it probably isn't going to happen since we get so many of them in at that time. But as long as you've applied for it, you will get that special rate.
Welcome back, viewers, watchers, listeners. I'm your host, Tyler Owen. It's fall season, which I consider gold ball season here in Texas. It is high school football playoffs as we're entering college playoff season. My favorite time of year leading up to Thanksgiving and then rolling right into the holidays. It's a good time of year to be here in Texas, and it's finally cooled off just a little bit. So got some guests, one in the house and one remote. We have Jim Bedinger with National Police Federal Credit Union and Jorge Mendoza, who is at the satellite office there in Farmers Branch. Man, we've had this partnership now for, we were just talking, with 6 years now, six or 7 years. Yeah. And it's a good partnership. And man, you guys have had some. It's kind of funny to the anybody watching or listening to this podcast that are members of Tmpa. We've been pushing a lot of information out to you guys, and jokingly behind the scenes, we have been inundated with some sparked interest in the credit union's rates and how they can become members. And so we want to have you guys on and discuss what all benefits that you guys. Of course, we've been talking about this for about 3 years now, or 2 years, and we've just never been able to make it work. So greatly appreciate you coming down. You're out of the Chicago office, and we're going to talk about kind of, maybe we'll dive off into the history of kind of how it started, and then now we're National Police Credit Union. But yeah, Jim and George, longtime friends of TMPA. Happy to have them on the podcast to discuss the many, many, many benefits that the National Police Federal Credit Union has. Jim, why don't we dive off into that? Why don't we dive off into how the credit union began? Because it was the Chicago Police Credit Union, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. Since 1938, we served nothing but the Chicago Police Department all the way up until about 2011.
Oh, wow.
And then at that point, we started adding some of the suburban departments that we had in the area. And then from there, in 2014, we got a partnership with the National Fraternal Order of Police.
Okay.
And I know they work well with the TMPA. Oh, yeah. You guys partner up on a lot of things. They have offices right here where you have your main office. So, but yeah, we started that partnership, and that's when the National Police Credit Union was born.
Okay.
And then from there, it was a marketing division that we had all the way up until the beginning of this year. And then we officially became National Police Federal Credit Union because we have members in all 50 states.
Yeah.
But with the TMPA, we started that partnership. We'd love to serve every law enforcement officer in the country, but unfortunately, we're a closed charter credit union, so we can only serve those departments that our federal government regulator, the NCUA, approves.
Yeah.
And so the TMPA was actually approved back in 2019, and it's been a great partnership. Actually, you're the third largest group that we serve in the country.
That's awesome. That's good to hear, man. Yeah. What separates, I think any cop out there can understand that, we're law enforcement's a special group, and so we're also kind of some odd ducks in the sense that there's certain things that we look at as far as membership aspects and how to service, and you guys in the banking industry have custom molded y'all's benefit package to serve the law enforcement community. And what separates you guys from like a regular credit union other than, just knowing the cop talk or being associated or affiliated with law enforcement associations?
Right. Great question. So serving law enforcement and their immediate families is all we do. I mean, that's what we've done since the beginning back in 1938. So we have products that are tailored to law enforcement. Also, our board of directors is made up of both active and retired law enforcement entirely. So they're the ones who actually represent law enforcement to the senior management so that they know that we're going to do things that is good for law enforcement. The biggest difference between us on the products that we have is our end of watch loan protection. So what that is, if you're sworn, let's say you get like an auto loan with this, we buy this coverage on the officer's behalf. It doesn't cost them anything. The rest of the time they're on the job, they're covered. God forbid if they suffer a line of duty death, any loans they have at our credit union, including mortgages, are completely forgiven.
Wow.
Up to $850,000 in total balances. That can only be offered by a first responder credit union, and we're the only ones to offer it in the state of Texas.
Man, that's incredible. And sadly, you guys, I was talking to George about this at conference, and that's happened in the past, right? I mean, it's unfortunately been one of those realities. George, you may not even know this, but the first time you and I interacted, was at a board meeting, I believe. But then at conference, what really struck me, and I think it was in San Antonio, you and there were 3 police officers standing around you, all off duty. We were enjoying some, cocktails and enjoying the environment of being at conference. And what I really appreciated is I can tell that you guys have worked so closely around law enforcement, because the banter back and forth and George's ability to stay in the fight and stay in the conversation with these guys, I was like, okay, that dude knows what the hell he's doing, and he also can understand and talk to law enforcement. And George, that's kind of where I was kind of like, okay, they're the real deal, right? So do you remember that?
I do. I've been fortunate to now been with the credit union for 12 years.
Wow.
So I can definitely relate to the law enforcement officer, what they go through. Being prior military, I get that sense of friendship, camaraderie that they have. And it serves me well in this capacity, being able to relate to what they go to, and how their mind thinks, how they process things. So it's definitely something that I enjoy, being part of the credit union, being able to associate myself with them and help them in any way. But I do remember that instance that you're referring to.
Yeah, and it's always interesting for me, from a membership standpoint. Obviously, I'm there to serve the members in this capacity, kind of, defend them or navigate through challenging situations on the communication side. But looking and seeing, the interaction between you and the member, it was obvious to me that you've been around that law enforcement, aspect of things. But one of the things that I really also enjoy about you guys, that you're so quick to respond and you're so quick to help in the sense that when we and how the verification process aspect works is that if you're a member with Tmpa, then you qualify to be a member with y'all's bank, y'all's credit union. And so the speed at which you guys send the verification emails, and we simply just say yes or no, this is not a member. No information is given to National Police Federal Credit Union. It's simply a, hey, is this guy in good standings? Yes or no, then they qualify for membership with you guys. But it's the speed and quality of customer service that I find, pretty impressive on our end.
Well, that's great. That's what we strive to do, because serving law enforcement, just like you, we have members, you have members. You want to deliver high quality service to them. And that's always been our whole focus that we've had in there. And actually, George runs our online membership application process. So, he's the one who leads the charge on that. We just had a recent promotion, we can get into it here a little bit, called a high speed chase. And there were hundreds of TMPA members who were coming in. So it was a little fun trying to keep up with all those applications that they were coming through, but it was just such a popular promotion that, we waded through them, and it was a great problem to have.
Yeah. George, you want to pick up on that?
Yeah, I think one of the nice things about the credit union, you mentioned earlier how we are different from, let's say, your local bank or your local credit union. I think the one thing that I always try to emphasize to our members is that, we have all the capabilities of the big bank, of the big credit union. However, we still pride ourselves on how to relate to our members. We still treat it like a smaller bank or a smaller credit union, because, I think that is one of the big things that a lot of financial institutions kind of get away from, is the service, how to service the members, how to service the clients, to ensure that it's not just the benefits that we offer, but how well we can relate to them. And I think that is one of our strengths, to be honest with you, is how we communicate with our members, and the speed in which you mentioned that we get back to them. It is important, not just to myself, I know to Jim as well, but, it is something that we strive for as a company, to ensure that our members feel that, they do mean something to us. It's just not a number. It is, we want to build that relationship with them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the similarities between Tmpa, obviously us serving the law enforcement aspect, but a lot of our employees are military or law enforcement, but we're also serviced by full-time. All of our board of directors are full-time, police officers. As y'all, very similar to y'all's also includes retirement. And so it's good to know that, because that's where you're getting your direction from, that they want you guys to kind of go on that path and to stay up to the current trends of what other banks are doing, but also the trend of law enforcement, to kind of understand, like, hey, this is kind of where we're going. And one of those trends being is that you just mentioned a while ago about the high speed the high-speed Chase car loan services. I got information that we might be seeing that back here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. So it's going to be coming back short time in November, 4 days only, November 17th through the 20th. And basically what it is new and used autos, 2.99% for 0 to 59 months. And that includes refinances from other financial institutions, or if you go 60 to 84 months, the rate would be 3.99%. But we call them high-speed chases because they're only around for a very short time. Yeah. So you got to take advantage of it. As long as you apply between the 17th and 20th, you don't have to have your loan dispersed because it probably isn't going to happen since we get so many of them in at that time. But as long as you've applied for it, you will get that special rate. So as it's coming in, they're very, very popular promotions. It's a great way to, again, being a credit union, we can pass on better rates to our members than what, say, banks can do.
Yep.
And that's one of the ways we do it is through our high-speed chases.
And one of the things you mentioned earlier is about the line of duty death payoff situation. Is that to every single loan?
Yes.
With y'all's loan?
It includes mortgages. It also includes auto loans, credit cards, personal loans, signature loans, student loans.
Wow.
Any debts the officer has with us for a combined total balances of $850,000 in balances.
Wow. Okay.
Now, to trigger it to where the credit union will buy it on the officer's behalf, they can't buy it outright. We purchase it for them. They have to do a loan or a combination of loans of $25,000 or more. But most car loans these days are way.
Oh yeah.
So they take advantage of that. And once they qualify, they're qualified for the rest of the time they're on the job. Even if they pay that original loan off, they will still have the coverage with us.
Yeah. Back to the history real quick, that you guys began as the Chicago Police Credit Union. What kind of sparked y'all's interest to move into Texas? That's a pretty big gap between Chicago and Texas, and I think if you want to maybe expand on how you guys got here, and I'm assuming, George, did you come aboard whenever they transferred, or were you a Chicago native guy that moved down during the transition?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Chicago, like Jim. And it was something that had been thought about prior to us coming here. I mean, obviously, with the partnership that we had with Tmpa, it just, it made sense to establish an office here. I was fortunate enough that at that time, I had the ability to move. I have a support, from the family, the wife, the kids, everybody, that it was a move that we all agreed on. And it just so happens that the timing was just perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect for the credit union, for us as a family. But the move out here was eventful to some degree. I mean, I moved out of here in the middle of COVID in 2020.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting, to say the least, when we moved out of here. But I can't say enough good things about Texas. It's been great to us.
Yeah, well, it's definitely probably a lot hotter than Chicago, but man, we welcome you with open arms. And I myself I'm a product of a transfer. I transferred to Central Texas from East Texas. Not as much as a culture shock, I'm sure, from Chicago down to the area. But hey, listen, you're in a great area. I mean, you guys are based right there in Farmers Branch. Phenomenal school districts there. I happen to be from Irving, Georgia. If you didn't know that, graduated from Irving High School. I just graduated right down the road from you, so I'm very familiar with where you live at or work at. Excuse me. But no, man, it's been a good partnership from a TNPA standpoint, because when we have a lot of financial wellness, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, people talk a lot about the mental wellness of law enforcement, and the financial wellness. Listen, I'll be the first one to say it as a former cop myself and current, technically reserve officer. We're not the smartest we're not the brightest crayons in the box when it comes to financial decisions. And so for TNPA to offer the financial wellness side between the McLean Advisors and then Financial Cop, to also have the lean on now with the partnership that we've had for many years now, National Police Federal Credit Union, it's a great marriage, right? It's a kind of the connect the dots, the trifecta for financial well-being. And that's why the partnership exists today.
Yeah. No, Nick's a great guy to work with at Financial Cop.
Yep.
We do offer our members, if somebody, let's say your credit's not where you want it to be.
Yep.
We offer free financial counseling. It's confidential, one-on-one, working with Gwen. I've been with the credit union now for 28 years. She's actually been there a little bit longer. So she really knows finances, and again, only working with law enforcement. She understands their unique needs and what they need. And again, it's free. It's to anyone who's a member of the credit union. It's something we offer because we want all of our members to get to the point where they can get the best rate, not just from us, but from anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and y'all are y'all the only credit union that you can think of that offers? 'Cause I've never heard of that another credit union offers essentially free counseling sessions for how to get your credit score a little bit better. I'm sure there's some out there, but I've never me personally, I've never heard of that occurring, and that's confirmation that cops historically just have not been in a good financial state.
Yeah, there's we see the whole spectrum. We really do.
Yeah.
You've got some that are very, very good with it, and you got some that are like, I could die tomorrow, and I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and buy that truck right now. And, do all that. So, we see that within there, but for us, it was very important. We can't say yes to everybody on a loan because some people just are not in a position that can't have it. But we want to be able to then say, okay, well, we can't tell you yes right now, but, work with our financial counselor and get to the point where your credit is good, or at least to the point where it's stable. And then we can get back to you and then start giving you some good rates, on the auto loans and the personal loans and things like that.
Yeah.
Some people are just, not a good financial risk. And
that's true.
But we don't want them to feel like we just said no and slam the door in their face.
Right.
You got to have that, service both on this end and on this end, and we do financial wellness trainings as well. We do a lot of them in Chicago. I've done some. We first started out venturing out state when we opened an office in Arizona.
Okay.
And it was through that that we, started doing the business development in Arizona. And then at an FOP Leadership Matters conference, there were a few of your field reps there.
Yep.
And I was confused because I thought it was only for FOP members, which, not knowing at the time how you guys have a partnership. And a couple of your field reps came up and said, well, tell me more about this credit union. So I started telling them about it. And that's kind of what it led to. And then I came out here for a board meeting, did a presentation to everyone, and we kind of
the rest is history. And then we made George move from Chicago to Texas, and there you are. So George, one of the things that I was talking about is that you have shared some certain to be as transparent as possible. We typically see each other at the Tmpa conference every single year, and I'm blessed to have YouTube there every single year, it seems like. And y'all brought some other employees, but you and I specifically had a conversation, and it was so rewarding, again, back to understanding the culture within law enforcement. You had talked about different stories and different impactful things that you've been able to do with National Police Federal Credit Union. Give us one example that you can think of driving home that day and knowing that both of you, that the efforts and dedication that you guys have, not just in the banking industry, but to the law enforcement family. Give me kind of one example without getting too much into personal business, but give me kind of one example and walk me through one of those rewarding days as you step away at the end of the day at work.
I'll start. Go for it, George.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
No, I was just going to say, I remember I used to be the chief operating officer there before I was more into the business development side of things. And there was a police officer who came up to me and he said, in Chicago, one of the branches there, and he's like, hey, do you remember me? And I was like, not really. I'm sorry, because we have a lot of members and I work with a lot of people. And he's like, I just want to tell you, you told me I really needed to get my act together when it came to credit. You gave me some pointers and things like that. He's like, I just want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he took my advice and was able to do that and was able to get to a better place in his life and reach his financial goals. That really is what our mission statement is. And our employees live it every day.
Yeah.
Some of them are related, whether it be spouse or kids or parents of or whatever. Law enforcement's a big part of, our employees' lives as well. So,
right. 100%. Yeah. George?
Yeah, I would say for me, the most rewarding part of this and where I've had the most interactions and kind of, what you mentioned, feel good stories is probably attending roll calls with our different departments that we serve. I feel that typically that is when you really get the buy-in from the officers, from, our members. It takes quite dedication, not just to be there when they need us, but to actually come out and see them in person at their, office or their roll call, whether it's at 5 o'clock in the morning or at 10 o'clock at night, it is probably one of the most rewarding things that I do in my job. It really emphasizes our commitment to the law enforcement community, and exactly what I want to be doing is when I'm out in the field, reaching out to them and assisting them with their finances. I think that for me is probably out of everything, the one thing I enjoy the most and what's more rewarding to me than anything else.
Yeah, so George, I can't remember what town it was, but you were able to participate in one of the saturations we had. I believe it was in College Station. But again, it was cool to see, again, the interaction, and you can feel and see the member understanding that this is a separate credit union. It's something different than just a regular credit union that's within these communities. And so it was cool seeing that interaction again with you. But let's talk about mortgages real quick. Let's talk about the difference of mortgages, and let's talk about what separates you guys from the rest.
Sure.
Give me kind of some key points on the mortgages with y'all.
Yeah, we're full service. So we own our wholly owned subsidiary called Police Mortgage. It's 100% owned by the credit union. Basically, we offer everything you look for: conventional VA, FHA. For folks that are in the military, VA is one of the best loans that you can possibly get.
Yep.
It's one of the great things that the federal government's actually done, for folks that served in the military.
Yep.
So, in addition to being full service, right now we actually are 1% and have been for a while below market on our rates.
Oh, wow. So
a 30-year fix, I didn't check today, unfortunately, but it was around 6.675 for a 30-year mortgage. We're at 5.75, and that's not pay points down to get to it. That's a true rate reduction, and that will actually be running through the end of November. Even after that, though, we're still going to have below market rates. It may not be a full 1%, but it's, something that we have. We've saved law enforcement officers a ton of money in this high rate environment for people who do have to purchase right now.
Yep.
Obviously, the folks that took advantage of the big 3s and the 2s back when they were around, 3%, 2%, we're not going to be able to do refinances for them right now, and that's great. They should keep their rate, as long as they can. But yeah, we're full service, and our service I would put up against any other that's around, because our mortgage officers, man, they communicate left and right. It's a very stressful time for a lot of people, the mortgage process, because they make you jump through hoops. You have to prove you're not spending your money. You have to, all the different things you have to do. But our folks will walk them through at Police Mortgage, step by step, and hold their hand as they need it, to get them through the process and get them the great rate.
Right. George, if you want to jump in on this, speaking of documentation for mortgages or auto loans, is there any recommendation? A lot of our members and a lot of y'all's members also work off-duty employment. Off-duty employment typically sometimes just plays, those are the cash gas stations or restaurants at night. What is there any recommendation for proof of employment or proof of expenditures from that standpoint? Is there a recommendation from National Police Federal Credit Union?
Well, I know a lot of the officers out here in Texas use something called roll call.
Yes.
To do their, after hours type of side jobs and stuff like that. We've utilized them before as far as being able to add that to their additional income to support the lending process. So, typically I would say somebody who's got, great credit, for the most part, we're not going to really make them jump through hoops or anything like that. It's typically when we do need additional paperwork, we'll ask for pay stubs. Obviously, anything that you can provide that's going to support what you're including in your income, it's helpful. Sometimes we'll ask for, tax returns, depending on just the situation. Every situation is a little bit different, but for the most part, we'll find a way to assist the member.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and you bring up a good point. People don't realize, to the 22-year-old new officer, I don't want to say the word rookie, but the new officer on patrol right now, the 22, 23, that's just starting a family. I want to put this in perspective, and you guys being financial guys may give me a number. 1%, I would guesstimate the average home in Texas right now is probably $300,000, $350,000. George, is that, you being in Texas, is that about accurate on a statewide level, or is that kind of high?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I would say that that's about right.
All right. So on a $300,000 mortgage, 1% over 30 years would save you how much?
Oh, just literally tens of thousands
of dollars. Yes. So that's significant, right? I mean, you're looking at a 30-year note for a 22-year-old kid. I'll call him a kid because I'm 41 now, but that's huge. And I think that's also confirmation of why it's important to have these partnerships in place. And it's the added benefits of being a member with TMPA. It gets you also the opportunity to be a member with you guys. And the reality is that you guys, it's not just that we picked a random police credit union and formed this partnership. We vetted you guys. There's a long process in order to be sponsored or partnered with TMPA, and you guys had hit all those check marks to include going before our board of directors. And so my recommendation or advice out there is that if you are a TMPA member and you do not have a bank, or that you have one, but give them an opportunity, right? Give them an opportunity to earn your business because of the partnership that they have with TMPA, for sure. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a great partnership. We love being your benefit.
Yeah,
we're a benefit to your members, and we take that very seriously.
Yeah.
We know that you have a reputation to uphold. Obviously, we're proud to partner with the TMPA. We can see as well in looking at the partnership, you really do take care of your members, and you're a great organization, and that's why you're leading in the state of Texas.
Yeah, no doubt. George, is there anything else you wanted to kind of finish up on or touch on during this episode, or do you think we covered all the bases?
Well, I would like to share my information if I could.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm the local guy here. Obviously, if any TMPA member needs assistance in any way whatsoever with their finances, definitely feel free to hit me up. You're going to find our information through the TMPA website. But aside from that, you can obviously go straight to our website, nationalpolicefcu.com. As Tyler mentioned, I'm in Texas. I'm actually in Farmers Branch. Our address here is 13465 Midway Road. And we are just north of the 635, but we're very convenient. You can definitely reach us. We take appointments, and if for some reason, you're not able to come out here, you definitely can contact me through email, phone number. I'm sure we can include that information, and
yes.
Feel free to reach out to me if I can help in any way.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'll also put Jim's information there on the screen real quick. You being out of Chicago, if George is busy or has something going on, that's again the response of y'all's entire team. Miss Debbie, I'm not sure where she's based out of, but
she actually lives in Florida.
Okay, wow. Okay, well, again, the responses is just it really is incredible.
Yeah, she's the spouse of a retired Chicago.
There you go. So she gets it.
Yeah,
she understands it.
Retired to move to Florida.
I can't blame her there.
One other thing I wanted to cover is convenience. A lot of times people ask, hey, are you guys just online or do you have brick and mortar? We have something that's unique to the credit union world called shared branching. So what that is, you can't open an account at these sister credit unions. There are other credit union branches that are part of the network. But once you've opened it, you can go in there and say, hey, I've got an account with National Police Federal Credit Union. Wow. Give me your account number and ID.
Okay.
And they'll pull it up real time just like you're in our branch.
Okay.
Deposits, withdrawals, loan payments, transfers, basically service your account at these and not pay a fee to do it. It's all real time, like I said, just like you're in our branch. There's over 5,000 locations nationwide. Wow. There's 286 locations in the state of Texas.
But you have to get one open with you guys first in order to take advantage of those. Yeah. Is there a website that you can go on to identify the map of these certain locations in Texas?
There's actually a locator right on our website.
Okay,
so you can put in your zip code or you can put in your address, and it'll tell you within a 15-mile radius, 15-mile radius, which ones are around you.
That's good to know.
We also have a ton of full-service ATMs that are out there for surcharge-free ATM withdrawal access. We've got over 80,000 nationwide. Wow. We're part of the co-op network, which includes other credit unions that are part of the network, but then we're also part of All Points. So that includes Walgreens, CVS, Target, Costco, Speedway. There's just tons and tons of locations where you can use our debit card and not pay a fee to get your money out. That's one other difference about us than other credit unions is that you don't have to have a checking account to get a debit card with the Visa logo on it. You can just have a savings account with us and we'll still give you that. One, you can make purchases with it. just with your savings account. You don't have to have a checking account.
Huh. That's pretty interesting. There you go. Some facts about National Police Federal Credit Union. So I'm going to look that up in a minute because I've got a good friend of mine that works at a credit union here in Central Texas and out of Dripping Springs. And he was asking about you guys the other day. And I was like, this is the first time. I'm sure George reminded me in previous meetings, but I was unaware. I'm going to check and make sure his credit union is a part of that partnership because if they're not, we're going to get them signed up.
That's right.
Sounds good. Anyway, hey, we're going to put all their information there at the bottom. Jim, what were those dates again for the high-speed chase?
High-speed chase, so it's Monday, November 17th through Thursday, November 20th. That's 5 p.m. Thursday, November 20th. You got to have your loan application, and if you don't have a membership yet, you want to go on and get signed up for membership now because you have to be a member in order to be able to take advantage of that. But as long as you apply for that high-speed chase loan and you're approved for it during that time, you'll get that rate, even if it doesn't get dispersed, say, for a few weeks later.
There you go. There you go. Right before Black Friday. So any of you guys or ladies out there that are looking at getting your spouse a Black Friday vehicle, get your applications in before that date and go ahead, and that way you'll have the thing signed, sealed, and delivered on the Black Friday day for upcoming at Christmas. So anyway, I think we covered it all. George, if you want to, is there anything else we didn't cover?
No, I think we've covered enough. Thank you for having us. I really appreciate the Tmpa, the partnership that we have for you and with you. And so, like I said, if anybody needs assistance, please look us up. I'd be more than happy to assist you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It was a great episode. And again, it was great seeing Jim again. I guess the next time we'll see each other, most likely will be the next Tmpa conference, which is going to be in Dallas, by the way, if you guys were unaware. George, you'll be happy about that. It's just right down the road from where you stays at. And so it'll be there at downtown and downtown Reunion Tower again. So anyway, hey, again, go to their website, check it out. We're going to put everything right here on the screen and check out the summary information for National Police Federal Credit Union. Great partnership, great friends at Tmpa. And because you are a Tmpa member, you're eligible to join them. Again, go to the website, take advantage of these opportunities. And again, the high-speed chase is November
17th through the 20th.
There you go. Hey, you guys take care. Stay safe. God bless you. And as always, may God bless Texas. We're out.